let's now jump into the how all we talked about so far applies to the interview scheduling product, and walk through the roadmap to requirement to the release journey. First step is the problem definition. There is a problem in the market today where recruiters are spending inordinate amount of time scheduling interviews when they should really be looking to screen and onboard high quality candidates. So this is proven. This problem is actually backed by industry statistics and surveys, where 56% of recruiters spend more than a full working day scheduling interviews, and despite that, 61% of the interviews end up in a conflict with other commitments. So there are six key business problems that are identified, where the first one is the amount of time spent on scheduling interviews. The second is conflicts resulting in rescheduling. Candidates do not show up because there wasn't a timely follow-up or a notification. There were time zone conflicts, last-minute changes, and lack of resources such as meeting rooms. So these were some high-level business problems that you can identify that tie to this problem statement that we have identified for this product, which is an interview scheduler. So if you look at for this particular product, if you start to put together a feature backlog, and you want to start to actually prioritize that based on market evidence and customer impact that we just talked about, you see there is a list of 10 features that we have identified to solve those 6 business problems. And out of these 10, you can see here, like we talked about earlier, there's a good mix of customer input, competitor parity, as well as game-changing innovation. There are 4 features based on customer input, 4 features based on innovation, and 2 features based on competitor parity. For each of these features, we then go through the process of assigning market evidence and customer impact, right? So as you will recall, market evidence is how many customers are impacted, and what percentage of your customers are asking for a feature like this, and um, the customer impact is the score. Is actually defining how important this feature is to your customer. So as you can see here, the candidates, allowing candidates to select from an available slot is table stakes, because this is one feature that will actually help candidates understand when there is an available slot for them to actually go for an interview. So you want to give that experience to the candidate, and that's something that is that's probably part of every single scheduler solution out there. So the customer that's something that every single customer would ask for. So the customer impact is high on that one. If you but there are some features like multi-session panel and video interview and real-time calendar for room availability. That is not as important right now, because the target customers we are going after in this example are startups and small and medium businesses, and these capabilities are needed for larger customers. So while you might want to have that in your list of features, you want to prioritize them lower because they are not targeting your current target segment. For the remaining features, the market evidence varies between 75% to 30%, and the customer impact is either 4, 3, or 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, or 2. And once you calculate the business impact score or the business priority score, you order the features in the descending order of business priority, and you get the initial prioritized list of your features for your product. So as you can see here, this is prioritized in that order. I have this example does not include customer commitments through a contract or compliance needs, but if there were some of those, you would actually give a higher number to the customer impact, like 99 or something like that. That way the business priority will be really high for that particular feature. So moving on, it's not just enough for you to actually prioritize the backlog based on market evidence and customer impact. The next step is you want to group these features into themes, and also work with your engineering team to actually start to get effort estimate for each of these features. So grouping into themes, in this particular example, we have actually group these requirements into three themes. One is the candidate experience, the second is the recruiter experience, and then the third is platform architecture enhancements. Roadmap should ensure a good mix of customer input, competitive parity, and innovation, like we have talked about before. So first, within your themes, you want to have features that have a good mix of those. And then the next thing is you start to work with your engineering and development organization to get effort estimates or t-shirt size for features. It's not just the effort estimate, so you can actually assign small, medium, or large for effort estimates at a high level. At this point, you don't want to get into nitty-gritties of how long is it going to take, how many person months or person days. You essentially want to identify in terms of number of weeks. Is small 1 to 2 weeks, medium 2 to 4 weeks, and large is greater than 4 weeks in this example. You also want to uh, look at beyond just the effort estimate. You also want to look at and assess the complexity level of the features. Again, you can assign a small, medium, or large for the complexity level, and then you also want to understand the confidence level for on-time delivery. So complexity is defines how hard the feature, how hard is it to develop the feature, whereas the confidence level defines how confident the engineering team is based on the skill set, as well as whether they have worked on a feature like that in the past. So for example, some features may be less difficult to develop, but the confidence level may be low because the feature requires heavy front end development, for example, but the skill sets available right now within your engineering organization might be more for resources that are well versed with APIs or backend. So the confidence level might be medium or low in such a scenario, even though the complexity might be small. And the other way, on the flip side, there might be some features that might be difficult and might require multiple components to be built. But the engineering team might feel like they have a high level of confidence because they have built something like this in the past, and they are able to actually leverage some of the work that they have done in the past to build a highly complex feature. So you could have a complexity level of large, but your confidence level can be high as well in that scenario. So it's important to take into account all three as it relates to estimations. It's not just how much effort it will take. It's also about how complex the feature is and what is the confidence level of your engineering organization.